Hi everyone, Melanie here. Welcome back to my channel. I made this video to give you guys tips if you're going through a divorce at the moment, or if you're just going through a really tough breakup in general. There are some 9 tips that will really help get your life back on track. Back on track to just feeling like yourself again. And here in this video, we are totally 100% focusing on self-care. Now, the element of self-care, this gets completely neglected sometimes when we're going through a really terrible breakup, regardless of whether it's someone who had a personality disorder or just someone who is just a really crappy, really terrible, horrible person. Regardless of what it is, there are times when breakups are tough. Breakups can be even tougher. And on top of that, going through a divorce, one tends to let their self-care slide. So this video is here to remind you that self-care is completely important. It's totally worth focusing your energies on being selfish at this point. So let's get right into it. Here are some 9 top tips to help you get your life back on track when you're going through a messy divorce. Number 1, getting outside and going outdoors. I could just say, just go out and exercise. Exercise is just a great thing to do anyway. It boosts your endorphin levels and it gives you a sense of completion and satisfaction of achieving what you set out to do. However, let's be realistic. A lot of us here just don't really like exercising. I personally can't stand running. The only time I run is if I'm running after a bus or running away from someone, which happens when you live in London. I say just go outside because going for a walk can actually do you wonders. Yes, it gets you moving. If you're the type to always be sat at your computer and sat in the same position by a desk, we're going to get stiff on our hips. It's great just to get out and walk. It's great to get some fresh air. And not only for our posture, for our health, but also for our mental health, just to get out of the box of the room that we're in for most of the day, whether it's at work or if you work from home, it's the room that you work out of. We tend to confine ourselves to rooms, whether it's out of choice or not out of choice, it's our work. So going outside is literally a breath of fresh air. It's a change in your patterns. You're moving your body. And you know what happens when we do this? If we're contemplating about something, if we're overthinking about something, going for a walk really helps let it go. It helps you let it go because change of scenery helps offer a change of perspective. Bear that in mind. And no matter what the weather, just go outside, even for a little bit. If it's hot weather, even better, get your shoes off and get grounded. If not, go back inside and have a nice hot shower. Feel water on you. These are some of the things that can help you feel more embodied again. I've mentioned it in a few videos ago, the importance of feeling embodied and getting back into your body as a way of feeling better again. So having a shower really helps with that. Hot bath. Things like this we can do every day. Don't put it to one side, actually prioritize it. Personally, I think walking is great exercise anyway. Obviously, if you want to push yourself and do more aerobic exercise, then all the better. I will say this though, watch out for you over-exercising or you taking it out on yourself. If you're feeling really stressed out and you decide to, I don't know, take up a Krav Maga class and just push yourself a little bit too hard and you end up just feeling worse than when you started off, or if you already know how to train and you just push yourself too much, or you're going to the gym and you're just doing too much, your body's not going to be able to handle this and you actually could end up with a lot of injury, and the injury is forcing you to actually realize to be more gentle with yourself. You have to be more gentle with yourself during this time. Whether you care to admit it or not, a breakup, especially a divorce, is a very vulnerable time. And so self-care and being kind and gentle to yourself, so essential. So by all means, exercise, especially if you're already a fan of exercise, but don't push it. Don't take it out on yourself, especially don't take it out on your body. Number 2, giving yourself time and space for emotional expression and just to be silent, just to be by yourself. Now, a lot of people tend to isolate themselves anyway when they're going through a divorce. And based on what I've just said here, I'm not actually advocating isolation. I'm talking about scheduling time for yourself to allow yourself time to feel whatever it is that you have to feel. get a lot of clients, a lot of male clients who they're so busy with work, and especially now having to work even harder to pay for everything, that at the workplace they just don't have the time to actually sit down and think, fuck, this is taking a big toll on my health. It's really painful time going through a divorce, and sometimes tears come up, tears of sadness at what could have been, sadness at the pain and anger, and why did this happen? Why is this happening? All this, it's part of the release of these emotions is through the act of crying. And if you don't give yourself space for that, it's just going to create even more tension and even more anxiety. So give yourself time and give yourself space, and more importantly, give yourself permission to let yourself cry about this, to give yourself moments of just let it all out. And after you've expressed, it's time to let go. Meditation training, mindfulness training, these are also excellent examples of making the most out of your time. If you're not into meditation, then set the time for quiet introspection and contemplation, because learning to develop your own personal philosophy, your own sense of spirituality to make sense of what's happened, this is so helpful in maintaining our emotional and mental well-being. So take the time and space to allow yourself to feel whatever it is that you need to feel, and time to contemplate, for quiet self-introspection, and to let it go. All this needs time spent by yourself, but with intention. So it's not about spending time by yourself just playing video games and watching films. It's no judgment. I do the same as well. But within this space, you need to allocate time to what I just said, for contemplation, for meditation. And if you use this time well, you will get something out of this, and it will help you make sense of your situation. It will help give you the motivation to move on. Giving yourself the time for emotional expression is how we self-regulate. It's going to help you get in touch with all of your emotional vocabulary. And this is good. So many of us are avoiding feeling certain feelings. Maybe we've put things to one side because we lead such busy lives. We just don't have the time to dwell on things and to express things. Or maybe in the past we've been told that it's wrong to feel certain things, and we just shove it to one side. And the act of a breakup in general, whether it's a divorce or not, it just brings everything up to the surface. And all the feelings that we're not used to feeling, we're feeling them now. So please give yourself time and space to experience this and to let it come up. And then once it comes up and it's expressed, it can go. It's fine. It's the flow. Emotions are like water. Be like water, friend. Let it flow. Let it flow. Let it be expressed, and put it to one side and get a good night's sleep. Number 3, scheduling time to have fun. Watch a comedy. Go spend time with your friends. Go out dancing. Go out. Do something which you used to find fun before the divorce, because remember, there was a time when you used to smile, when you used to have fun. Now I know we're older now and it's not as easy to go out with your friends as it used to be. I know this, but hey, there are lots of things that you can do to give yourself an instant lift. Smile on your face. What music did you like to listen to when you were younger that cheered you up? What's nostalgic music for you that just makes you feel good? How about watching comedies? They're designed to give you a good endorphin boost. What's fun? Just dance about in your house, or I don't know, just have fun with a friend, do something silly. I know it seems like it's not important when you're going through a divorce and you've got so much on your plate anyway, and you're working extra hours. It's even more important to spend a little bit of time to make yourself laugh. Nothing wrong with that. Watch a bit of stand-up comedy. There's always something that we can watch. Watch it on YouTube. You don't even need to have cable TV to do this. Learn to have a laugh, and your sense of humor will help elevate you and help give you a sense of optimism in a dark time like this. Number 4, making time to relax. So as I said, making time to have emotional expression, making time to have fun. The last bit of making time is to relax. That is to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. Now, it is important, so important, to activate your parasympathetic nervous system when you're going through a divorce, because it's such a stressful time. No doubt your sympathetic nervous system is constantly being activated. What I mean is you're being constantly triggered into a fight or flight or fawn or freeze mechanism. It's constantly activating our adrenal glands and keeping us ready for a fight or flight. It's the stress of not knowing what's going to happen, stress of everything. Just stress does this to us. And especially if you're divorcing a partner who has a personality disorder, mental health issues, it's all that much more stressful, and therefore it's all that much more important and essential that you activate the parasympathetic nervous system. What this does, this literally helps you relax. You need to bring down your levels of cortisol. You need to stop stressing out your adrenal glands because you're going to burn out. So, ways that you can relax. What do you do that helps you relax? And I often see with my clients that they're so busy with their work, they literally come home, are exhausted, they might have a glass of wine and just pass out on the sofa. And that, for them, the act of drinking the wine and just relaxing, and they think that's enough. No, it's not enough. Ideally, you need to be activating your PNS throughout the day, parasympathetic nervous system. And there's so many ways to do this, which are actually quite simple. And I'm going to give you a big tip here. All you need to do is have headphones on if you're at work, go onto YouTube and type in 432 Hertz or 528 Hertz. You listen to it and it automatically puts you in a calm and relaxed state. I highly recommend this. I listen to stuff like this in binaural beats, solfeggio tones, just this kind of stuff. It's hearing certain tones and frequencies. It helps create a shift in our emotional, mental health and well-being. It creates an instant change, and sometimes all we need is that instant change to relax. And then that's what we need, is just relax. It's so easy to do. Make sure you're doing it. Number 5, set boundaries with your ex. For some of us, it feels like we've lost our voice in the relationship. So setting boundaries with your ex is a really fantastic way of helping you get your voice back. It's saying no to being texted all the time. This is when you say, okay, so only text or call me in an emergency, and do not just turn up at my house. You need to arrange by calling me first. And again, only if it's an emergency. Whatever it is, whatever rules that need to be set, you need to set rules in place for your own sanity and well-being. If you have a partner that just likes to keep turning up at all hours, an unpredictable partner who's unstable in his or her mood, it's all the more important to set boundaries now, because you don't want you don't want your partner to just walk into your house or just to be banging on your door in the middle of the night when you spent so long trying to emotionally self-regulate. Because all these tips are really helpful, but if him or her just keep interrupting and keep turning up, we don't feel safe. We're left in a state of feeling when they're going to turn up next, when they're going to call, and we need to feel safe. Safety is the most important thing. A feeling of inner safety is needed before we can actually grow. It's all root chakra stuff. You need to make yourself feel safe, and that's by setting boundaries. Number 6, adaptogens and nootropics. I'm a big fan of adaptogens. These are plants and herbs and barks and roots of trees that help your body adapt to stress. So if you're living a very stressful lifestyle, and no doubt divorce is one of the top stressful things you can ever do in your life, along with moving home, and I've done that a few times. So divorce on top of that is stressful. However, for some of us, we just need a little extra help. This is why I turn to adaptogens. Please check with your physicians though. If you're thinking about adaptogens and nootropics, please check with your physician first, because I don't want to give advice if it's going to mess with any medication you're on. However, if you are interested, do a little bit of research on adaptogens and nootropics. Maybe you're drawn to one, and the great thing about adaptogens is that you're going to get a lot of benefits from them, not just a healthy response to stress. For example, maca powder, this comes from the Amazon. This helps with fertility and helps boost your sexual libido. Vicuna pruriens, as well from the Amazon. What this has L-Dopa in it, and L-Dopa is a precursor to dopamine, so helps boost your dopamine levels as well. And then we also have ginseng, we have medicinal mushrooms like chaga mushrooms and reishi mushrooms. The list is long. What I recommend is starting your day with a tonic. I like to boil with some water, some chaga mushrooms, mixed with a bit of cacao powder, a bit of mucuna pruriens, a bit of maca powder, and a bit of honey, and down the hatch. It's a great way to start the day. I also put some astragalus root in as well, I forgot about that. Another thing to look out for are nootropics. These are substances which enhance brain function and help with cognition, improve memory, and some of these are totally natural and are worth looking into, such as ginkgo biloba, caffeine and L-theanine and creatine, by the way, are also nootropics. Number 7, call a friend. It is so easy to become a recluse when we're going through a breakup. It's like we don't want to bother our friends with all the issues that we have to go through. Our friends have got their own lives. They don't have time for our stuff. And it's easy just to stay indoors and not really spend time with everyone, not stick to your usual routine, to let that slide, to spend more and more time alone. This can all be a slippery slope to depression. And the thing about depression is that it keeps us in a state of inertia. That's the last thing that we want, to have our will frozen. Now is the time when you're going through something stressful to keep pushing. By all means, take time to have, to relax and to unwind, but you need to keep pushing. You can't be defeated by this stressful situation. One must always have a warrior-like mentality when going through a breakup, not taking it out on your bodies, being kind to yourself, but having that focus and that determination to push through it, because you need it. You need it because if you don't live in a tight-knit community, which most of us don't, you have to rely on yourself. Even the best of us, though, even the best of us struggle with self-motivation. There are times when we just feel like we can't do it. There are times when we really want to offload onto someone, even though we don't want to bother them. There are times when we just want to be heard. And there is nothing wrong with reaching out to your friends. I want to remind you, actually, a true, genuine friend cares about you. And if you're the type who just disappears and becomes a recluse during a breakup or during a stressful situation, they get concerned, they're worried about you. So just stop them a message saying, hey, whatever it is, if you want them to come over, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to reach out amongst the people that you trust and that you love and ask for help. There's nothing wrong if you're feeling down to want to have a cry with someone, or just to share what's on your mind, or even if you don't want to talk about anything, just going out and doing something with someone. We're sociable creatures, and when we're depressed, we need to be around other people, and their energy lifts us up. It's the opposite when we're angry. When we're feeling a lot of anger, we need to actually isolate ourselves so we can bring our energy down and not have energy infect the pack, so to speak. But depression, the danger of depression is that it just builds up and gets worse, and being around other people really helps to lift you up. Just don't be afraid to reach out. It's okay to reach out. Number 8, daily tasks for boring self-care. Boring self-care refers to the things that all of us do on a daily basis. Things like cooking, things like washing every day, brushing our teeth. It's all part of daily self-care. The boring self-care routine is so important when the divorce gets really tough and you're feeling like you're really struggling. Because when we're really struggling, we start to lose motivation, and we start to feel helpless, worthless. That's when the depression and the inertia kicks in. And sometimes it's not enough to be calling a friend. I mean, it really helps. Please go back to my previous tip. Reach out to someone if you feel like you're slipping into this stage. If you feel like you're in this stage now, you can help yourself. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask someone to help you, buy groceries. And just push yourself to do the daily things. There is no shame in just dedicating that one day into pushing yourself to do the boring self-care. Push yourself to brush your teeth, to have a shower, to wash your hair. When you're depressed, things like this, which just seem so easy and unimportant to, I know, people who don't really think about these things, when you're depressed, these tasks are so hard to do. It is really difficult. It's depression, whether you're in extreme physical pain. A lot of people don't appreciate how hard it is to tend to these boring self-care daily tasks. If you can push yourself to do it and reflect on, yes, I did it, this will boost your self-esteem a little bit, and it will just give you a little bit more motivation the next day to keep going. And finally, number 9, seek counselling, because sometimes we need a little bit of extra help that our friends just can't give us. Remember that our friends, although I highly recommend reaching out to them, remember that they're not trained therapists. They can only take on so much. They can only respond in a certain way. And the thing about friends is that often they just want to, out of love, they have a very biased point of view. The great thing about a trained counsellor is that they're trained not to have a biased view. They don't know you. Why would they have a biased opinion? They wouldn't. And it's easy to talk to a counsellor that you don't know, because why does it matter what I think? It's different with friends and family. We don't want to open up to them because we don't want them to change their opinions of us. However, with a counsellor such as myself, it doesn't matter what I think, does it? Especially with me as well. People often find it's really easy to open up to me. Maybe it's because I'm quite open with my weirdness and eccentricities anyway. Counselling is a great way to help you make sense of things, why things have happened the way they have. And a good counsellor will help create the space that's very safe and trusting for you to actually explore the past as well, because often past events have created templates that helps create future events. Know that I am trained to deal with this. If you do need some help, if you are stuck in a feeling of inertia and depression, if you're finding it really hard to emotionally self-regulate, if this divorce is bringing up a lot from the past, it's bringing up a lot of anger and you don't know how to manage it, this is stuff that's happened before, especially if this is a repetitive pattern, please reach out to me. I do provide services through coaching and through counselling to help you exactly in this situation. Just drop me an email at mel@thegothcoach.com and we'll take it from there. I also have information on my website which you can download instantly. If you're going through a breakup with someone with a personality disorder, go onto my website and you will find a recovery toolkit program in which you can instantly download it, and you have audios, PDF and videos to help you get back on track. So that's it for today. If you've got any comments, please leave a comment below. Please subscribe if you're liking the videos that I'm putting out. I want to get to 1,000 at least so I can start going live and making live videos, because that'd be fun. Until next time, see you later, my lovelies. Bye-bye.